Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Thank you very much for joining. So today we're going to look at a number of topics in Abhidhamma. This is supposed to be the last lesson, so we'll see how much we can cover. The first one is because we looked at the Nama Dharma, which are the Chitta and Chaitasika so far. So today we're going to look at the Rupa Dharma, the material energies. Yes. And also the Lokoththra mind energies and the Nirvana itself. So that's what we're going to talk about. So just to give you an overview again, as a quick recap, the Abhidhamma is the teaching of the highest level in Buddhism, and it contains most of the teachings of Buddhism. This Abhidhamma section of Buddhism. So it pretty much covers all energy types that exist in all realms, and it classed them, and also beyond realms as well. It classed them under four categories. There's Pali words, there's English words, and there's Sinhalese words here. So the Pali word is chitta. Chitta means, I translate as mind energy. Mind energy means any being that has a life, whether it's a physical form or a spiritual form, that has a what we call a mind. Well, this mind energy exists in the faculty of the mind, and there are 89 types of these energies, unique types, and these 89 types occurs in all of the 31 realms that we looked at on previous sessions. So we looked at that, and in Sinhalese it's called Sita. Pali words, there's Chitta and Vijnana. And then that's the actual mind energy, which means it's like the foundation of the mind energy. And then attached to that, as part of the mind energy, there's another, the quality of the mind energies is determined by the Chaitasika. I call them thoughts because it's easy to understand that way, it's easy to relate that way. But so therefore it's also a different energy to mind energy. Therefore it's called thought energy. But they both born together as vibrations. They're all vibrational energy. They're born together, they sustain together, and they die together. So both the Chitta and Chaitasika energies, they both arise in the mind and lives in the mind and dies in the mind as mind energies. So we looked at the 52 types of thoughts, and it's very important for us to understand what they are, because they exist within us. They actually exist in every mind, and there are 52 different types. And to be honest, that if you can learn those 52 types by heart and try to identify those energies in your own mind as they arise, that awareness, that kind of exercise alone will help you to perform insight meditation, which we'll go into in future sessions. But awareness is the key, and to become aware, you have to learn what they are. So we covered in previous sessions what these 52 types of thoughts are. That's what's create positive and negative karma and actions. So it's important for us to learn the 14 negative thoughts that exist within us, and today we'll go into in more depth of how to eradicate them, and also how to achieve Nirvana, or the path to Nirvana, the process it takes to achieve Nirvana. We'll cover that also. So far, what I'm trying to say is that we covered the 89 mind energy types and 52 thought energy types. They're called Nama Dharma in Pali. And today we're going to cover a different class of energies, a different category of energies called material energy, or the Rupa energy. Rupa is not pictures. Rupa in Sinhalese is classed as pictures, but in Pali, it's a type of energy. It's a material energy. It's the energy that creates all physical things around us. So I'm sure you heard these energies before, but we'll go through them. So today we aim to cover topic number 3 and 4. Fourth one is the Nibbana, which is, we can't really call it energy, but it's called Dhamma. So I'm gonna, for the sake of conversations, I'm gonna use the word energy. But in the Buddhist teaching, it's called Dhamma. It's in its own class, so we'll cover that later. So these are the topics today. So the first, we're going to look at 28 Rupa energies, and these are the 28. So from left, right, so from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 28. So I've divided the table into two parts. On the left side, the first 18 of the 28 energies are called Nishpanna Rupa. Nishpanna Rupa means they're caused by karma. They have influence of karma. So these are the 18 Rupa energies that you can use to practice your insight meditation. But the other remaining 10 on the right hand side, they call Anishpanna Rupa, or not caused by karma. Therefore, you can't use them for insight meditation purposes. So let's look at what they are. It's important to understand these, and although some of them you can relate, some of them you can't. I will show you how we can use these energies to practice insight meditation also. But the first 4, I'm sure you heard of these 4. The way to understand this is that on the left hand side, you have these categories highlighted in orange color. Mahabhuta Rupa, or great elements, is one category, and then internal or Prasada Rupa is another category. Gochara Rupa, or objective Rupa, is another category. Bhava Rupa, Hardaya, mind-based Rupa, life Rupa, and nutritional Rupa. So these are categories that the Nishpanna Rupa is classed as. So on the right hand side, you have limiting phenomenon Rupa, communicating or Vinyapti Rupa, mutable or Vikara Rupa, or material qualities, or Lakshana Rupa. So basically, let's go through these in detail so you can relate to these Rupa. So these are really so fine that you cannot see it with your eyes, or even the most powerful microscope. They cannot be detected. They are so fine that even the finest, smallest atom that the science have identified, you will see that the number of these Rupa Dharmas in it in trillions. Okay, so this highlighted in green, the Rupa Dharmas highlighted in green are basically, there are 8 of them. They're called Shuddhastaka. Shuddhastaka means these 8 exist in everything that's material energy. So they're so fine that you can only detect them through a highly developed intellect, or the wisdom thought. So it's important to identify that when we see something that's hard, like, physical objects, there are, X number of, limitless number of these combination of energies that are highlighted in green color. These 8 exist. But when we touch hard things, just know that that is a collection of these energies, not just one, but because it's so big that it comes to our experience. So the way to break this down so that we can relate to it is to say that Patavi is the first great element, which means either hardness or soft hardness or hard hardness. So because you can detect this Patavi quality or the hardness in our breathing, also in our breath, in the air that we breathe. That's why we sense it in our nose when we breathe air. So that's like the soft hardness. And then the hard hardness is everything that all physical around us. When we touch them, we can feel them. So we use the word Patavi to identify the hardness that exists in all things, including the things that we cannot see. Because of that hardness, when it touches our skin, we can feel it. So that's the definition of Patavi, and it's felt by the body. Okay, so the sensory part in our body is the body that feels the hardness. It's not the mind, it's not ear or nose or anything like that. It's the body itself. The second one is Apo. Apo means cohesion or fluidity. It's the stickiness that exists. And the stickiness is felt by the mind. So that's the detection mechanism that identifies the Apo quality that exists. And the best way to explain this Apo quality is that when you take a flour, the flour that you cook with, like roti or bread or whatever that you make with flour. If you take a handful of flour and put a little amount of water, it becomes sticky. But if you put too much, it becomes like a liquid. So it is that fluidity, that liquidity that we're trying to identify here in the name of Apo, and that's felt by the mind. So the next Rupa Dharma is called Tejo. Tejo means either hot or cold temperature. Now you got to think of this Tejo quality, Tejo Dhamma, as a spectrum of kind of temperature levels. On one end you got hot temperature. On the other end you got cold, and everything in between is also Tejo. It is a varying levels of temperature, and that's also felt by the body. So when we say Tejo, we're talking about either cold or hot temperature. And then Vayu means it is the air that exists, and the way to kind of identify this is the motion of pushing and supporting. It's the rising and the disappearing of the air that all around us, and that's also felt by the body. So Vayu means air or motion of kind of motion that actually changes with air. So that's felt by the body. So those are the 4 main elements or Mahabhuta that exist all around us, and these are felt by both the mind and the body. Now let's go into human or animal body itself. Now when you look at a being that has a physical body, these parts exist in that body. There are internal parts and external, the Dhamma that get caught up in those internal parts. The internal parts are the Prasada Rupa. The Gochara Rupa section covers what Dhamma get caught up by the Prasada Rupa. I'll tell you what that means in more detail. Now we all have, you know, eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body. These are like, let's think of it as, if you think of a body as a robot, right? And if you can put these parts in a robot, these are like apparatus that captures different types of information in the robot. So the robots are basically, just imagine you, me, and all the animals that has these body parts are like a robot. And in those body parts, you have an eye, which is like a camera, right? So in the robot's body, you can put cameras in there. So cameras is like the eye, which is called chakku element. That these elements here, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, these are the apparatus or the actual gadget that fits in all of our bodies. It doesn't do anything except capture information. Now the next section tells you what information these elements captures. So that's the distinction between the two. One describes the actual physical body part that exists in all bodies. The next section covers the information that those body parts captures by the apparatus. So they are unique. They are unique and they do different jobs. So what the eye does, ear cannot do, nose cannot do. So they have a unique job, and therefore they capture unique information. So let's see what they are. So first one is chakku. Chakku means eye. That means we all have eyes. But eyes as an object is independent. Okay. Eyes cannot really do anything without the information that it captures from the external world and then send it to our brain. So let's see what it captures. So eye captures varna. Varna means color. So as you can see, the color is caught through the eye. So we think that the varna, the eye captures pictures. It doesn't. It captures colors in those pictures, and then it sends them to our brain through the eye consciousness, and then our brain recognizes them through our historical knowledge as so and so, as those items, etc. So we recognize them as different objects, or through the sanya thought, it recognizes what we saw, what we captured through our eyes. But just know that I can only capture colors, and that's why when you focus on the color as inside meditation, when you do the inside meditation, there's a particular inside meditation that focuses on the Rupa Dharma. So when you do that, what we're really doing in that meditation technique is that you're focusing. When you see something with your eyes, you're not seeing it as a whole. You're focusing on the color, one of the colors of that object or of that person or that picture. Now, when you focus on the color, you cannot get attached to the color, because color on its own is not desirable. Okay, it doesn't create desire. But if you attach a color to a picture or wide objects, and we see it as a picture, we translate it as a picture, in that moment we can get attached to it. So as part of the insight meditation technique, we should focus on colors through our eyes. When you look at a person, look at a single, focus on a single color of that person, what they're wearing or their hair or whatever it is, rather than seeing it as a whole person. Because if you see a beautiful person, you instantly get attached to that person, and that can create karma and etc. And but if you focus on that person's color, one of the colors of their body or what they're wearing, then that attachment doesn't get created in that level of intensity. So the idea is, whenever you're focusing something outside, you have to focus on one of these dhammas, one of these material energies. As long as you're focusing on the material energy, then you don't get attached to it, because you're seeing it for what it is. What it is a color, right? Not a person, not a picture, not a car. It's a color. So when you look at the color, then the attachment to whatever the color belongs to as a whole get reduced to a level where you can manage your feelings and thoughts without getting attached to it. So that's the purpose of learning this level of detail of material Dhamma or material energy, so that you can focus on the particular energy through your particular sense. So for example, in the same way, Sota means, number 6, Sota means ear in Pali. Now we all have ear, but ear is like a microphone, right? Ear captures sound. So that's number 11. So Sadda or sound is caught by the ear. Now we don't detect, when we capture sound, the way to meditate on sound is that we just acknowledge it as a sound. We don't decide whether it's a good sound or bad sound, right? We just acknowledge it as a sound, and that's it. I just heard a sound, and I'm not going to analyze it further. The moment you analyze it, then you have to decide whether it's good or bad, and that's when you create karma. That's when you create attachment, right? So the idea is, know the Dhamma that get attracted through your senses, and just accept it as a Dhamma. That's it. Don't try to analyze it further or beyond that point. The moment you start analyzing it beyond that point, then you create karma, and you get attached to it, or you don't get attached to it. One or the other will happen. So the way to protect your mind from this attachment is to see what we perceive through our senses as what they really are, which is through the eyes, it's just a color. Through the ears, it's just a sound. Through the ganda or through the nose, it's just a ganda, which means it's a smell. We're not going to say we're not going to decide it's a good or bad smell. It's just a smell. And the moment you ask the question, is it good or bad? Do I like it or not? That's when you start creating karma and causing it attachment or detachment. So basically, number 7 says gana, which is a Pali word for nose. Number 8, so nose is linked to the Dhamma it captures, which is number 12, ganda. Ganda means smell, and that's captured by nose. The next body part is called Jiva. Jiva means tongue in Pali. And number 8 or Jiva is linked to number 13, which is rasa or taste. So whenever you're tasting a food, if you just taste it as if you just acknowledge it as taste, right? Because that's what it is. You're not going to ask, is it good taste or bad taste? Just taste. If you do that, then you're just observing the Dhamma for what it is. The moment you ask, is it a good taste or bad taste, then that's when you get attached to it, or get basically either dislike it or like it, right? And the moment you do that, the moment you do either of those things, it creates karma. So you have to really know what the Dhamma is that get captured from our senses, and then just acknowledge it and don't analyze it further. And that way you're protecting your mind from creating karma that binds you to this never-ending samsara. So Jiva means tongue, and the Dhamma that get caught in through the tongue is obviously the taste, which is rasa. Now, the last one is kaya. Kaya means body element, which is our skin, right? So there are 3 elements that are detected by the body. Therefore, it's not just one thing. So we call it pottabba in Pali, but pottabba is of three types. On the top, you got touch. So touch is what we call pottabha. So touch can be of Patavi, Tejo, Vayu. So either Patavi or Tejo or Vayu, which means either something that's hard, Patavi. Tejo means something that's hot or cold, and Vayu means a breeze, air, right? So these energies are felt by the body, therefore, or the skin. And it's called pottabha, and it comes under for pottabha category, which is touch, but touch can be of those energies. Are you okay so far? Do you have any questions? Is it follow, Mira?
Sure.
Yeah, Mira. Yeah.
What is pottabha? Okay, I was just looking at that.
Yeah. So pottabha relates to this top Mahabhuta elements of Patavi, Tejo, and Vayu, because they all felt by the body, and this touch is basically equal to any of those. So we're down to 13 Rupa Dharma from 28 now. So when we go to 14th and 15th, so this is where a Rupa Dharma that determines if a person is a male or female, if they have a feminine energy or masculine energy, is determined by these Rupa Dharma. And these exist in all living beings that has a physical body. So Sti means feminine or female, Purusa means male and who has masculine. So these energies what determines whether someone's male or female, if they have those body parts. So that's what that is, the Bhava Rupa. And then Hriday means our faculty of the heart, where the mind sits. So Hriday Vastu is number 16, the faculty of the heart. And then life, Jivtendriya. Jivtendriya is a life faculty, because all of these energies have life expectancy. And as you know, the mind energies have a life expectancy of Chittakshana one Chittakshana, or three small Chittakshana. But the Rupa Dharmas also have a life expectancy of 17 Chittakshana. 17 Chittakshana. So which is a bit, it lasts a bit longer than the mind energies, because they're quite physical and quite rough than the mind energies. Mind energies are really very fine energy types than the Rupa energies. So the material energies or the Rupa energies, they have a slightly longer life expectancy of 17 Chittakshana. Chittakshana is a measurement that's been used to identify how long these energies live for, they exist. So yeah, so Jivitendriya kind of life faculty take care of the energy management within these energy types, or the life expectancy. And then Oja is referred to as nutriment, which is felt by the mind. So this is best way to explain Oja is everything that consumes energies. They actually observe, they absorb or some part of the energy that they consume. For example, when we eat food, our body parts absorb the actual energy from those food, called nutriment. So that's called Oja. And those are the first 18 material energies from the 28. And these 18 is basically used, as I said, for insight meditation. But the green color ones, color energies, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Vanna, Gandha, Rasa, Oja. These energies exist in all things. They come as a collection of energies. They come interconnected as a bundle of energies. They always come together, and using this group of energies, all physical things are created. Another way to say it is, all physical objects has these 8 energies as minimum. Okay, so they call Shuddhastaka, and you will find these 8 in all physical things that exist. So basically, are we okay on that? Are we clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So now we move on to number 19. 19 is Akasa Dhatu. Akasa Dhatu is space. As you can see, space is all around us. That's also a physical energy, and that's what it is. So even when you have very hard object like a big rock or stone or iron bar, there's Akasa energy, exists in them, because that's why you can cut them. If the Akasa energy doesn't exist, even in the hard objects, you cannot cut them. So is that fine? So that's what that is. And then communicating, or Vinyapti Rupa. So this is about communication. So when we communicate, there are 2 types of communications is identified here. Kaya Vinyapti, which is using the body language, physical body to communicate, and Vachi Vinyapti is use of words, use of tonality, etc. So that's managed by these 2 Rupa Dharmas. So Kaya Vinyapti is the Rupa Dharma that manages body movements. Vachi Vinyapti is the Rupa Dharma that manages tonality in our voice. That's also a Rupa Dharma that exists in our body. And then mutable or Vikara Rupa. Vikara Rupa basically of 3 types: Lahuta, Mudita, and Kammanyata. So this is Lahuta means lightness. So when our body feels light, it's because of this Rupa Dharma. This Rupa Dharma that allows our body to be light. I mean, if you can imagine, when the air in us, in our body, leaves, we call it, in the moment when it permanently leaves, we call it we're dead, and our body becomes very heavy. This 70-80 kilo body is easily moved or carried to different positions. Is because of the lightness, and this lightness energy, or this Lahuta energy, that's supported by the Vayu energy that causes us to move this heavy object easily of our body. So Lahuta is that, and then Mudita is elasticity. So the flexibility that we have, to move our body fluidly, is managed by the Mudita energy, or the elasticity aspect energy. And then Kammanyata means the energy that binds our, because we all have different energies that cause the way our body parts are developed. Okay, the karma energy that get transferred from our previous actions are managed by the Kammanyata energy, and that's what determines whether you will have a beautiful body or not, or if you have a completeness in your body parts or not, if you be born as a blind person or a deaf person, or any other variations of body formation, is managed by the Kammanyata energy. Now the other category is material qualities, Lakkana Rupa. So these are describing, or these are managing the existence of all of these energies. So as you saw with the mind energy, you saw that there are 3 stages of a mind vibrational energy: beginning, middle, and end. Birth, sustainability, and a decay, right? Or ending of the mind energy we went through. Like that, these Rupa energies also have 4 stages. It's not just 3, it's 4. So that's why you can't really see the decaying very, very quickly, or you can't detect it quickly, because it takes time, because it happens slowly over a period of time. The decaying of the physical matter happens over a period of time, but it's constantly changing its energy nature into one of these stages. But over time is when we physically sense it or see it. So first stage is called Upachaya. Upachaya means birth or beginning or rising. And that takes Chittakshana 1. So 1 Chittakshana is to do with the birth or Upachaya. Santati means continuity. So once a Rupa energy, one of these Rupa energies has been born, then it takes 15 Chittakshana time frame to continue before it becomes decay and dissolve. So Upachaya means beginning, Santati means continuity, and Jarata means decay. So it constantly degrades the energy, and then after it's degraded, it goes to the last phase, which is Anicca, which is dissolving, which is the ending of the energy. So those are the different stages of the Rupa energy, of all of these Rupa energy, from birth to dissolving or ending its energy. So everything exists for some time and they die, and these are the stages of that journey of all of these energies. Any questions?
You said that you can't influence the second part, right?
So which number?
Like after the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yeah. So basically 5 to 9 are the body parts,
right?
And 10 to 13 are the information that get that get captured by these body parts. That's the relationship.
From 19 to the 28, you're saying that you can't influence that, you are born with it based on your past karma,
Yes.
is it? Is that what you said?
No. So basically 19 to 28, these are just features of all of these. They're not caused by the karma. They're just features. Like for example, the space is not a cause of karma. It just exists, right? And it's proportionate. It's proportionate to, like for example, if you take a cup, the space inside it is not really an attribute of karma. It just exists, right? It's a feature.
Oh, okay.
It's a feature.
Oh, I
Yeah?
I get it.
Yeah. Because so like that, all of these are features of these Rupa elements. They're like characteristics, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, yeah, that's what that is. Any other questions?
Basically, it's a sort of a snapshot of what it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
The energies are what it is. Everything, actually.
Exactly. And to be honest, I think what I'm taking away from this, is what we need to meditate on, right? That's all that matters to me. So what I'm really taking away from this is what information do we capture from our 5 senses? So and those are the information I should be focused on when I'm capturing them, so that I don't get attached to them, right?
Okay.
So for example, when I look at something, I should only focus on the colors, so that I don't get attached to that object or that person or that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm hearing a sound, I shouldn't analyze the sound as good or bad. I should just hear it as or acknowledge it as a sound. That's all it is. Because through our ears, we hear all sorts of sound, all sorts of words. But if you start analyzing them, that's when you get attached to them or frustrated by them or angry by them. Therefore, I'm not going to analyze it. Simple as that. They just sound. So see things for what they are, which is color, and hear only sound, energy. And when you smell something, then just take it as a smell. Don't analyze it as good or bad. The moment you start analyzing things, these dhamma, as good or bad, that's when you get carried away with it and create karma. So
right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So basically, we should just acknowledge it as a smell, as a taste, as a sound, as a touch, as a color. That's it. And that's how you should preserve your mind from external attachments or attachment to external things. And that alone is that kind of information is very valuable when you do inside meditation. But know that the Rupa Dharma exists and is in its own category, and as your wisdom grows, then you can go into other Rupa Dharma also, and then acknowledge them, so that you can develop your meditation practices. Anything else before we move on?
No.
Great. So that covers the 28 Rupa energies. Now the next slide. Now this is something I want you to appreciate that exists. Okay. Because we so far talked about in the Abhidhamma topic, we talked about the mind energies, Rupa energies. Now when we talk about Nirvana energy, there's a process to get there. Okay, so in that process, we have to develop our wisdom thought, our intellect, through awareness, through insight meditation. And when we develop, because we haven't talked about insight meditation techniques yet, and I'm hoping to do that on the next session. But yeah, so before we go into insight meditation, I want you to know that the way you achieve Nirvana, the stages in between from now and achieve Nirvana exists in the book called Visuddhimagga, and that tells you step by step how one achieve Nirvana. You can Google it, and I highly recommend you reading this book, The 7 Stages of Purification, the Insight Knowledge, Venerable Maharshi Nana Rama Thero. It talks about the Visuddhimagga, and in that book, it teaches you the different levels of knowledge that you acquire as you practice insight meditation before you achieve Nirvana. Okay, so there are 8. They call jnana. Jnana means special knowledge. Okay, special realizations. And when you practice insight meditation, all of the 21 different insight meditation techniques basically tells you just see the Dhamma as it is, and see it arising and disappearing. The Dhamma we talked about are the Dhamma we talked about in Abhidhamma, which is the Chitta Chaitanya Rupa Dhamma. There are 169 of them. We covered all of them, so 28 today, and previously the 52 thoughts and 89 mind energies. So total 169 Dharma energies. So inside meditation tells you one of the meditation techniques is a feeling meditation. So when you feel, there are 3 types of feelings that you can feel: happy, sad, or neutral. So in that meditation techniques, it teaches you, whenever you feel a feeling, acknowledge the feeling as happy, sad, or neutral first. So acknowledgement. And the second step is just watch it from a distance, observe it, and as you observe, you'll see the rising and the disappearing of the energy, related to that painful feeling. And when you see that energy, when you observe the energy longer period of time, then it disappears basically. So normally what we do is we don't do that. Instead, we go after the story that encapsulate that wrap around that feeling, and we go after that story, and we hurt ourselves and others through words and action. So instead of doing that, this meditation teaches us to ignore the story and focus on the energy inside the story, which is the feeling, and then watch the feeling as it changes its position, its energy, until it disappears. It's similar to when you're at the beach, you watch the bigger waves from a distance from the shore until it disappears, until it becomes smaller waves. Just like that, without getting attached to the emotion, if you observe the emotion from a distance like a third person until it disappears, then you will see that it's just energy. There's nothing to get upset about it. There's nothing to get attached about it. It's pure energy. And like that, when you practice any one of those 21 insight meditation techniques, which is taught in the Mahasadipatan Sutra, if you can get hold of that Mahasadipatan Sutra, you can Google it. I highly recommend you actually search for this Mahasadipatan Sutta. It has different translations, and it's in different websites also. This archive one, let's see what it is. There are simple explanation. There are Pali explanation. This one is audio. Actually, the access to insight is a good translation. Yeah. So this tells you the 21 meditation techniques of Mahasadipatan Sutta. There are 4 categories. There's body, there's feelings, there's mind energy, and there's Dhamma. So the body section covers 14 of the 21. And the second one is feelings. There's only one under feelings, so that's 15. There's one under mind. That's why, you see, when you practice this meditation technique under mind, that's where the 89 mind energies comes into play, because knowing that helps you to identify which particular mind energy you're focusing on right now. So that's why this Abhidhamma knowledge comes in handy. So when you practice this meditation, you can use the 89 mind energies that you learned. The feeling energy, basically, as I said, one of those 3 feelings is quite easy to do, because we all feel the feeling, right? If you're alive, you do feel. So when you feel, then it's time to meditate. That's the bottom line. So that's why it's easy to do, because feelings are the most important things for human beings and animals. Therefore, when you do feel it, instead of reacting to it, you use that as an opportunity to meditate on it, to observe it as a third person until it disappears by focusing on the feeling itself. And that's very easy to do. You can do that right now. So mind energy is that, and then you got mental qualities, or the Dhamma. There are 5 under Dhamma. So 5, 6, 7, and 14 gives you 21 meditation techniques. So I highly recommend you listen to different Mahasadipatan Sutra Desana or sermons, and you can, if you want to read this in Sinhala translation, there's a website called pitaka.lk, and pitaka.lk, and if you type Mahasati
Ramesh, I don't think the Sinhala one is going to happen.
Oh, really?
For
Okay,
us.
that's fine.
Don't
That's
worry
fine.
about
But what I'm saying is, it's very it's in a simple language. So you got the Pali version here, right? The Sinhalese version is quite easy to understand if you can read Sinhalese, and it's pretty much gives you more comprehensive explanation. This is a sutra all Buddhists must read and understand and practice. And through that practice, if you practice the Mahasadipatan Sutra meditation techniques, which is only taught in Buddhism, that is one of the unique points of Buddhism. If you want to achieve Nirvana, you have to practice this Satipatthana, the insight meditation techniques taught in Satipatthana Sutra. And when you do that, you achieve special levels of wisdom. And these are the 8 levels of wisdom that I list here. And you can learn more about it in this book, as I said earlier. So basically, the first one is knowledge of contemplation, of arising and passing away, of the Dhamma. So this is the Rupa Dhamma, the mind energies that we talked about, the rising and passing away. All right, like when you develop your wisdom to a level where you can see the vibrational energy with your wisdom thought, then it is said that you have the Udyabhijnana level of wisdom. So this is in Buddhism, when you have this Udyabhijnana, or this special wisdom of arising and decaying of the disappearing of the energies that we talked about, one of the 169 energies that we talked about, if you can detect that through your wisdom thought, because you practice enough of the insight meditations, because that's what that's why insight meditation helps you to achieve, to be able to see the breaking away and the rising of the energies or the vibration energy that's around us. And that's the only apparatus that can detect these vibration energies around us, which is your developed wisdom. And the only way to develop your wisdom to get to that level of sharpness, or that level of intellect, is through insight meditation. So I hope you see the combination there. When you see that, when you develop your wisdom to that level, you will have the knowledge of Udyabhijnana. So when you see this a person have achieved this stage is is basically they're on their way to Nirvana very quickly from that point. It's like putting yourself on the motorway, and you will end up achieving Nirvana, because now you know the reality. You know that all things around us is made of energy, and you can see the arising and decaying of those energies with that level of wisdom. And that is the definition of intelligent person according to Buddhism. Intelligent person according to Buddhism is a person who have Udyabhijnana level of wisdom. And the second one is knowledge of contemplation or dissolution. So now the person who has Udyabhijnana level knowledge will continue to practice insight meditation, whichever one he or she chooses from the 21. They continue to practice it, and through that practice, they'll achieve the second level of knowledge or wisdom called Banganu Passaana Jnana. Banganu Passaana Jnana means, now you see the vibration has 2 ends, the beginning and end. Now this person who has this jnana, the second level, will only see the ending of it. So they can see that everything's breaking away, right? All the vibrations from they don't focus on the beginning anymore. They can see the ending part of the vibration. So therefore, now they are highly motivated to carry on, because they can see that the whole world is made of vibrational energy and is constantly changing, right? What's the point of being indulged in this world of vibrational energy? So therefore, they'll continue to practice insight meditation and achieve the third level of wisdom called Bhayatupattana jnana. So, which is knowledge of appearance as terror. So, if you can imagine that you see all the world around us is breaking away because the vibrations are always, changing. Now they are motivated through fear, right? Of not being indulged in this world. It's pointless. It's pointless to be indulged in this, indulge our senses in this world of impermanence. And no one need to explain to them that this world is impermanent because they know it for themselves through their own wisdom. So now, because of that fear, they'll be motivating themselves to continue to achieve nirvana through insight meditation, and then they will practice the insight meditation and achieve the fourth level, which is called Adinavanu passaana jnana, which means knowledge of contemplation of danger. So they see the danger of the sensual pleasures, the danger of the sansara, etc. They realize it for themselves. Therefore, they will continue to practice the same meditation technique that helps them to get this far, and then achieve the next level of wisdom called Nibbidanu passaana jnana, and knowledge of contemplation. So now they really are basically realize that the true nature of how things are. And there's no point indulging yourself in this, even in the smallest pleasures that the worldly things has to offer. So they are highly motivated at this point to carry on and achieve nirvana, and therefore they'll achieve the sixth level of knowledge called Muccitukammata jnana, and that's really to understand the karmic effect of all the things that exist. So they can see the cause and effect for themselves now. So they're highly motivated in that respect, and therefore they will continue to motivate themselves. So the motivation level starts really from here properly. So until then they are motivated, but they're not really 100% motivated to achieve nirvana. But at this stage, when they achieve the Muccitukammata jnana, or knowledge of desire for deliverance, that's when they actually achieve the 100% motivation. And at that point, no one can stop them, and they will pretty much carry on and give up everything and go to the forest, for example, and then they'll carry on with their journey towards nirvana from that point. So the next level they'll achieve is knowledge of contemplation or reflection, Patisankhanupassana jnana, which means to know what must be done to achieve nirvana. So at that point, they know exactly what needs to be done to achieve nirvana. And then when they continue with the insight meditation, they'll achieve the next level of wisdom called knowledge of equanimity about formation of sanskara upeksha jnana. Sanskara upeksha jnana means they understand what causes, not by theory but realization. They'll understand what causes karma and effects, and they'll observe them without getting attached to them, and then when they continue to practice insight meditation, they'll achieve the last stage before Soowaana stage. They haven't even achieved the 4 stages of nirvana yet. Okay, this well before that. They'll have the anuloma jnana, which is their mind is focused on the nirvana energy at this point. So nirvana, if I may call it an energy, is called Dhamma in the Pali text, but the nirvana is a unique energy. Okay, it exists with the most sharpest mind that it can identify. So at this point, your mind is so sharp, your intellect is so sharp that after the Anuloma Jnana, you will actually see the Nirvana energy or the Dhamma with your intellect. And that is the stage we'll get to. It's called Path and Fruit to Enlightenment. So there are 4 stages after achieving this wisdom, this knowledge. Then you will achieve the first stage called Sotapan Stage. And this Sotapan Stage is basically is a stage where you will see the Nirvana energy with your wisdom using the Sotapan Magga Sita. So Sotapan Magga Sita means the mind energy that helps you to see the Nirvana at a glimpse, as a glimpse, if I can compare it to a physical object like a star. So you can see the Nirvana energy like a star level, like a glimpse. For one Chittakshana time frame, you'll see the Nirvana energy, and at that point, we say that you have achieved Sowan Margasita. Sowan Margasita helps you to identify the Nirvana energy as a glimpse, as a star level glimpse, and immediately after that, you will. We say that you have attained the Sothapati stage of Nirvana. So Sothapati stage, when you achieve the Sothapati Margasita or Margachitta, these things have taken place. The Sakkaya Ditthi means the identity view, the belief that there is an unchanging self or soul in the 5 impermanent or 5 skandhas, which is, the one self that, me, myself concept will disappear. That's what Sakkaya Ditthi means. So when you achieve Sotapanna stage, these three characteristics will take place. First one is that you will lose permanently the concept of oneself. Okay, that this person is me, right? That there is a person called me, and this thing is mine. This me and mine concept will disappear. That's one of the benefits, and that's permanently disappear. Second one is attached to rituals and rites and rituals, right? It's called Silabbata Paramasa. This concept about believing in God and other ways to achieve salvation will disappear. So you don't believe in those anymore because you've seen the true nature of all things and how things are risen, etc. So it's called Silabbata Paramasa. That belief system will disappear completely. That's the second benefit. The third one is you will also permanently remove any doubts about the teaching of the Dhamma, about the Buddha. There are 8 areas of doubt. All those 8 areas will disappear when you achieve the Sotapanna stage. It's called Vichikicha. Okay, so that's the benefit of the Sotapanna stage. So these 4 stages are the stages of achieving Nirvana. So to get to Sotapanna stage, you have to practice inside meditation and achieve those 8 level of wisdom, and then you'll actually see the Nirvana energy yourself, and then at that point, your mind is so pure that you will remove all these 3 characteristics that binds us to never-ending samsara permanently. And after that, you will only be born. If you don't achieve the next stage of path to purification, you'll only be born 7 times again. There's only 7 rebirths before you achieve Nirvana. So now the person who achieves Sotapanna will continue to practice the inside meditation, same inside meditation, or one of the 21, and then they will achieve the second stage of path to purification called Sakradagaami stage. And in the Sakradagaami stage, they don't really lose anything permanently, but they'll reduce these two characteristics, these two qualities, okay? Kama raga and patiga. Patiga means anger thought. The anger thought will be reduced, but not permanently gone, okay? So if you can imagine, if you have 100% anger, your 50% will go at this stage, like that. So sensual desires, kama raga, the attachment to, kind of sensual desires, pleasing your 5 senses or 6 senses, will be 50% reduced at this stage, at the Sakradagaami stage. And that person will continue to practice inside meditation and achieve the next stage of purification called Anagami stage. And sorry, if someone died at this stage without achieving the next stage, they will only be returned or reborn once. But if they continue to progress and go to the next stage, which is Anagami stage, then in that stage, they will fully remove the Kamaraga and Patiga. So at this stage, this person the anger will be permanently disappeared. And the sensual pleasures will be permanently disappeared at that stage. And if they died at that stage without becoming Arahath, they will not be born in the 54 in the karma worlds anymore. That is basically the 6 heavens, human world, and the animal world, and the 4 hells.
So where would they be born?
They will be born in a special realm called, let me show you what that is. In our 31 realms.
Material world.
In the fine material world of Suddhavasa, so they'll be born in one of these. From Aviha, Atappa, Sudassa, Sudassi, Akanita.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah?
Okay.
So it says here, look, accessible only to non-returners. So Anagami, Arahath, beings who become non-returners in other planes are reborn here, where they attain Arahatship.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So they will be Arahats from there and onwards. So, but if they were to continue the inside meditation practices, when they're at Anagami stage, then they will achieve the Arahat stage, which is free from all the 5 lower fetters and the 5 higher fetters, which are these. So basically the Rupa, Arupa, Jhana, so the desire to be born in the Rupa world and Arupa world will be gone. And the ego will be permanently gone. You see, the ego thought exists until you attain Arahatut. So it's very important. We have to be really careful about our ego thought, because it can manifest in all thoughts of forms. It can manifest as intelligence in us, right? Like, for example, when we say, I feel sorry for that person, that is a form of ego. If you feel sorry for someone, that means you automatically think you're better than them, right? You're in a better position than them. And that is a deviation of ego. So instead, you should feel compassion towards them, not sorry. So like that, you got to really be careful about this ego thought and how it manifests. And there are, I think, 5 levels of ego. So we have to really be careful, because it exists until you achieve Arahatut. And also the Uddacha thought, which is the restlessness, can exist until being Arahat. That's why we have to practice samatha meditation, so that we will weaken the Uddhacca thought and strengthen the ekaggata thought, or the one-pointedness thought, or the samadhi. And the avidya is the ignorance, and as you know, it stays with you until you achieve arahatut. So the attachment to the formless realms and material, realms will disappear when you achieve arahatut. So that's the different stages to achieve nirvana. Any questions so far?
No, I have a lot of work to do.
Yes, and we will go into a bit more detail on the next ones about the actual mind energies that exist in each of these stages. So the first one is called Sothapati Maggasita. Maggasita means it basically helps you to identify or see the nirvana energy as a glimpse, like a star level. Okay, but the Palasita is the result of the mind of this siddha, which helps you to be happy, because you become so blissful by seeing this nirvana energy through the Maggasita, which will never appear again. This will only happen once, and again it's at chittakshana one time, and then the Palasita, because you have Sothapati Palasita. Palasita will help you to go back to the memory of what you saw and how pleasant it was, and you can spend time there and feel really blissful about seeing the nirvana energy. But it will not help you to achieve progression to other stages unless you come out of the Palasita and practice inside meditation. It's very important, and this text tells you a bit about the Maggasita, and it tells you what we just summarized previously. So the next one is the next level, Sakradagaami Maggasita. So
Can I
now,
ask a question? The previous slide,
yeah,
it says that clinging to rites and ceremonies and belief that they lead to liberation and so on. Now, our Buddhism is full of that, right? In Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
so
yeah. These are
why
all.
do you do that?
These are all man-made things. Okay, in terms of rituals, because of influence from other Indian cultural rituals, I think Buddhism through generations also kind of added their own rituals, because people like rituals. People like to do physical things, and I think it's a mixture of other religious cultures that cause this ritual to exist in Buddhism.
Okay.
But in actual fact, there are 10 types of rituals that we need to participate in Buddhism. The reason for those is that when we do those rituals, they create positive mind energies in us. That's the whole point of those rituals, to create positive mind energies. The 25 positive thoughts.
Yes.
So in order to create those 25 positive thought related mind energies, you have to engage in these 10 types of rituals, and they are called dana, sila, bhavana, the 10 meritorious deeds. I don't know
Oh, okay.
if you saw that, but let me just quickly share that. I think I have them here. 10 meritorious deeds. Yeah. So these are the 10 rituals that we must engage in order to cultivate positive mind energy. So dana, which is giving. So when we give, we have to give with the intention of achieving nirvana, intention of removing desire or attachment. That's the purpose of giving. When you do that, you create positive mind energies. And then sila is practicing discipline. The five, preserving the 5 precepts, 10 precepts. For monks, I think it's about 221 precepts. So these are all different levels of sila. By doing that, you're practicing positive mind energies, or creating positive mind energies. Mental development or meditation, as you know, is always, paying reverence to holy persons and elders. When you do that, you create positive mind energies, right? Because of faith and all those good things. So service to others, when you do charitable work, that creates positive mind energies, like karuna, mudita type energies. And then sharing of merit. So when we do something positive, or one of these 10 meritorious deeds, it's good to share your merits to departed ones, to deities, whoever is expecting merits. And that also creates positive energies in you and in their mind energies. Rejoicing in others' merit. So when you hear someone did something meritorious, one of these actions, they can tell you about it, then that creates positive energies in you, and you can still participate in that action, the meritorious deed, by like imagining that you were being part of it, and being maybe like thinking back to a similar event that you were participating in, just kind of bringing back memories and creating same kind of positive, or basically recreating positive mind energies that way also. So it's good to share with others the meritorious deed that you participated. So that helps them to create positive mind energies. And obviously listening to the Dhamma will create positive mind energies. Teaching the doctrines like this will create positive mind energies in yourself and others. And straightening out one's view. So this is called Ditthujukama, which means you are aligning your beliefs and values according to the Dhamma. Because it's very important that, to understand that we all have beliefs and values that are positive and negative. And there are also conflicting beliefs and values as well as limiting beliefs and values. Now, all of these beliefs and values, we did not filter and analyze and put them inside us. They were automatically given to us, or taught, or acquired because of our previous experiences, through our education system, our religion, personal experiences, our parents, all sorts. So, but because we did not analyze them, there's no way we can analyze them, because we're not, that aware when we're young, especially. There are so many different beliefs and values that are in our mind. So by listening to the Dhamma, we are aligning them according to the Dhamma. We are replacing the negative ones with the positive ones according to the Dhamma. So Ditthujukama is very important. It means that you are aligning your values according to Buddhist teachings. Only when you do that, you will act on it. You see, when you align your values and beliefs according to Dhamma, and then the importance of meditation, the importance of sila, dana, all of these 10 meritorious deeds, and the importance of protecting your mind from the external pleasures. The importance of protecting your mind from not being attached to information from your 6 senses, etc. Right? So that's why it's important. So these are if you were to be part of ritual, these are the rituals you should take part in, nothing else. So that's what that is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And everything else is basically the wrong view, right? That doesn't help you to achieve nirvana. So that's why all those will go away. The Sakkaya Ditthi will go away when you achieve Sotapan stage. Right. So the next stage is Sakradagaami Magasita. When you achieve this stage, you will see the nirvana as big as the moon. It said that. So initially you saw it as a glimpse, like a star, Now you see it as the size of the moon, for example. It's a bit bigger. So now you become even more happy, and with the Sakradagaami Palasita, you can now contemplate on that happiness of seeing the Nirvana from time to time, and then it will help you to motivate and practice meditation further to achieve Nirvana. So now, as you progress through these 4 stages, this is the second stage. Third stage is Anagami. So when you're at Anagami stage, Maggasita helps you to see the Nirvana as big as the sun. And that way, you know, you're very close to Nirvana. And basically, your mind is fully motivated and it will continue to achieve Nirvana, and then you will go to Nirvana. That's like, you know, you actually attain Arahath. That's the next stage of Arahath Maggasita. So this Maggasita is only lasts once in your lifetime, and it's very quick, one chittakshana. But the Palasita is the resultant mind energy of all of these, and using the Palasita, you can go back and enjoy the pleasure over and over again. But you know, you will realize that even that pleasure is not relevant or not worth, and therefore you'll come out of that Palasita and achieve and practice inside meditation until you achieve Nirvana. So then we, you know, this basically the Palasita, right? The resultant mind energy, Soowaana Palasita, Sakradagaami Palasita, Anaagami Palasita, Arahath Palasita. So those are the 8 Lokoththara mind energies, and all of these mind energies contains the 8 noble path in all 8 of them in each mind energy. So they're 100% pure. Yeah, so that's the 8 Lokoththara mind energies. Any questions at this stage?
No, I was wondering whether you could briefly share the first slide. I just want to take a screenshot of that.
Yeah, certainly. Which one? This one?
First one.
The
Okay.
This one, right?
Got it. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Certainly. And then this one maybe as well. This is quite a
yeah, I got that.
Summary. Yeah. And then lastly, Nibbana. Nibbana is simply put, it's a Dhamma in its own class, and it has no qualities of the other 169 energies that we talked about. It's in its unique class. So it has no thoughts. Thought doesn't exist in that space. It has no Rupa element. There's no material energies. There's none of the 28 material energies exist. Therefore, there's no mind energies. There's no beings exist. So all it is, the way I see the Nibbana energy is that what we're really doing is we're converting our energies from the negative thoughts or negative mind energies to positive mind energies. Then the positive mind energies to the Kriya mind energy, or the the Nirvana mind energies. So it's a process of purification and conversions of the different mind energies until you achieve the most purest form, which is Nibbana. And therefore, that's when we end our rebirths and basically come out of this, cycle of samsara. And in this energy, there's no qualities of the if I go to the slide about this slide, there's no qualities of the mind energy. There are 89. None of these 89 exists in the Nibbana energy. There's no qualities of the thoughts energies exist in the Nibbana energy. And there's no qualities of the material energy exist in the Nibbana energy. So, so basically, Nibbana energy is in its own class, and you purify your mind energy and your thought energy until you achieve Nirvana through insight meditation. And insight meditation is the only tool you can use to purify your mind until you achieve Nirvana. That's the summary. And that kind of ends our session today. Any questions at this stage?
We talked about the Satipatthana Sutta,
Yes.
and in that, the object for all the 21 types of meditation is the object is the breath, isn't it?
So sorry, the object is?
So we use the breath as the object.
No. Breath is just one type of meditation. You see, if I go to that slide, no slide, but that website, if I go to Mahasadipatan Sutra, there are 21 different focuses, okay, to meditate on. Breath is one of them. Okay, it's very important. Breath is one of them. If you think you cannot focus on the breath, then choose something else. So depending on people's wisdom and karma and intellect, you can choose any one of the 21 meditations. So out of the 21, there are 4 categories. Okay, the 21 is broken into 4 categories: body, feeling, mind, and Dhamma.
So the Kaya Passaana and the
exactly. So Kaya and Passaana is body, and there are 14 focuses within Kaya and Passaana, and breathing is one of them. Okay, so breathing is not the only one. So breathing is the meditation that was Tathagata Buddha used to achieve Buddhahood. So it needs a sharp intellect, and it's not for everyone. So you can choose the walking meditation, you can choose the Wedananu Passaana, and I think Wedananu Passaana would be my preference, because everyone feels the feelings, right? So you should start with what you can relate to first, and we all can relate to feelings. So feelings are basically the easiest thing to relate to, and when you feel, all we're saying is that we're not going to go after the story behind the feeling. We're going to focus on the location that we feel the feeling the most, right? Let's say the last time you got angry. If you can think of the last time you got angry, can you all think? Or frustrated, angry, or fear? One of those feelings. If you can think, the last time. Do you have a memory?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you can find a location where you feel it the most in your body, right? Is it in your head, in your heart, in any other part of the body? Find the location. You have a location?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel it the most? Is it so normally people feel it in the heart or chest area, and so when you feel that, now it's difficult initially as the beginner to watch this feeling from a distance. It's difficult to do that. So I developed a technique called don't get attached. Okay, so what that means is the reason we say don't get attached is that all feelings are made of energy. Energy means something intangible. You can't touch it, but you can feel it. But it constantly changes. That's the nature of energy. So why would you attach to something that constantly changes? That's the reason we say don't get attached. So in Sinhalese, we can say alendepa, alendepa, alendepa. But whichever language you use, it means the same thing. So don't get attached is the English translation that I use. So once you identify the location, now this is my technique for beginners, okay? So I would ask you to give some points to the intensity of this feeling out of 10. 10 is the most angry and 0 is the least. So can you all give some points to the level of anger you feel at that moment? You will have a number?
Yeah.
Good. Remember that number, because that's the indication that whether it's change or not. So now focus on the feeling where you feel it the most, and as you focus, repeat the words, don't get attached, don't get attached, don't get attached, like 30 times. And I want you to say it in your mind, not out loud. And really like blame the feeling. Say it in a harsher tone. You can either use harsher tone or softer tone, whichever one is more effective to you. But you're blaming the feeling. You not really care about the feeling. Just don't give it any importance to this anger. You give it too much of importance. That's why you feel angry. That's why you feel it. So don't give any importance. Just say don't get attached, because there's no point getting attached. And as you do that, see the energy changing, like breaking down of the energy. See that with your wisdom thought, and see the breaking down, breaking away of the energy, and see it until it disappears. Basically, keep repeating it until it disappears. And when you're done, give the points again to the current state and see if it's going down. Let me know when you're done. Don't get attached.
Yeah,
don't get attached.
It's a good technique indeed.
Yeah, it's very practical, isn't it? And
because sometimes these things come in, other people do things, right?
yes, and you see
it's not necessarily you are angry with somebody else does harm to you. You feel that they've done harm. They may not know.
That's the thing. You see, now we think that some other people has done this thing to us, this harm to us, and that's why we feel angry. But in actual fact, they just triggered the anger in us. Right? Anger was there, but they press the right buttons and we go angry. But we have to take full responsibility for the anger that generates within us instead of blaming others. Until you do that, you'll never change anything inside you. So I want you all to take full responsibility, whatever feeling you feel. It doesn't matter what the outside world done to you. But you have 100% control over what's get generated inside you. So take responsibility and say, thank the other person for triggering this anger that you never knew you had. Right? These are keles. These are, negative energy that is dormant in you. And they just push the button. They said the wrong words or the right words to trigger it. Right? But use that opportunity to meditate. Right? And when you keep doing that, you're training your mind to say, I don't care about this anger anymore. Whenever it comes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to kill it, basically. I'm going to make it go away. And the anger get less and less and less until it no more, if you keep using this technique. And when it get less and less and less, then you're training your mind to just be alert and be aware of your anger and how it manifests inside you. And when you do that, then you can use the insight meditation technique to become an observer and watch the energy dies down. And that's how you manage your anger. And what happens is, when the anger disappears, you convert the anger into neutral feeling. And you begin to be more peaceful person naturally after that, without any effort. So if you do this for the next month, I promise you become more natural, more neutral person, more calm person, and more peaceful person, because you create that environment inside you. And you know that you're empowered now. When you know this tool, use this as a weapon to attack the anger and any other feelings you don't like, whether it's fear, anger, doubt, disgusting feeling, or hate, or whatever label you give it. They're all energy. That's the bottom line. And I challenge you to use this on positive feelings also, because that's also temporary, but it's up to you. You can focus on negative to begin with, and then, get rid of the negative and the positive feelings if you want, but ultimately you have to get rid of all feelings, right? But I leave that to your choice. So definitely no one likes negative feelings. So focus on that and neutralize them. and then slowly, get used to the technique. And with this tool, I promise you, you can manage your feeling at any level. Okay. But it's better to kill the monster while it's little. So when you see the feeling at a frustration level, that's the easiest time to do it. Just say, don't get attached, 2-3 times, couple of seconds, it goes away, right? So don't let the anger generate in any form within you. And when you do that, you become a neutral person. And ultimately, when you neutralize the anger and happiness, you will be more peaceful consistently throughout your life. But then you also have to focus on the neutral feeling also. That's a bit difficult. Now, neutral feeling, right? Because it's very subtle. You don't really see the vibrational energy in a bigger form like the big anger and big happiness energy. So the way the most venerable Velimada Jinalankara Thero told me was that the way to identify the neutral feeling is like, when you watch the ocean at night in a subtle waves that you can see, when it's still, when the ocean is still, you can still see very subtle waves moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a neutral feeling. That is a definition of a neutral feeling. Those subtle feelings, those subtle vibrational energies still exist within us when we're feeling neutral. But to detect it, we have to develop our intellect to samadhi level, dhyana level. That's why the samatha bhavana or samatha meditation helps, because that will sharpen the sensitiveness of our intellect, so that we can pick up the subtle waves of our neutral feelings. So that the higher you go on samadhi level, the more subtle the feelings that you can detect, because our intellect is that sharp. So that's when you really have to start practicing concentration meditation also. But before you get to that level, you can do this right now, and then have some sort of benefit, and let that benefit motivate you to walk on the path of Dhamma until you achieve Nirvana. So any other questions?
It's different from forgetting it than just accepting and working it through.
Exactly, because ultimately all the things that's created in our experience is done by our interpretations, and our interpretations are influenced by our beliefs and values, right? Now, someone's definition of love is different to someone else's. It will never be the same. That's because our belief systems is different. We all been brought up in different cultures, different background, different times, and our beliefs and values influence our decisions, our decision to create our feelings, right? So the other important point I want to say here is that lobha is a negative thought, right? Lobha is one of the building blocks of desire and samsara, right? So lobha is not something we mustn't cultivate, but look how we cultivate it in the name of love. You see, love is conditional, right? We think it's unconditional, but it's not. If someone that we love doesn't behave the way we want them to, it creates frustration in us. That's because it's conditional. We have conditions for love. We have these rules, these unconscious rules, that this person should behave in this way within this framework of my rules in order for me to love them. And if the moment they get outside, we basically, our love can turn into anger or frustration. So love and anger are very closely related, because love is another word for desire or lobha, right? So love is not the word we should be cultivating in our lives. Instead, we should replace that word with either compassion or equanimity. Okay? So if you're compassionate about someone, that's limitless, right? It doesn't matter what they do. You cannot create anger in you. When you truly develop compassion towards others, you know, anger cannot exist in that mindset. But if you love someone, and the moment they break your rules of love, then the anger jumps in. And that's because love is in the negative parts of the thoughts. It's one of the you know, negative thoughts, which is called lobha. But the equanimity is in the positive section. Let me just show you. Did you follow me here?
Yeah. It's very good, actually.
Yeah. So because we were conditioned to love our neighbor because of other religion, because of other cultural conditioning, but we don't really think it through. But if we do think it through, that we know that love is another word for lobha. That's why it's linked to dvesha or hatred, right? So, but if you replace that word from our vocabulary with this word, maybe which one is it? Karuna or compassion. You see, I love this word, because when you're compassionate with your partner or your you know, children or your family, it doesn't matter what they do, you can forgive them. And it doesn't matter what they do, it doesn't create anger in you. So replace love with compassion, or the right word should be loving kindness.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to this more. So you know, compassion is better, but the other word is loving kindness.
Yeah, I think we are sort of got used to doing action.
Yes, and then we are conditioned, you see, to Valentine's Day and all of this marketing and other religions, love your neighbor and all of this. So, but what I'm saying is, consciously we got to change our vocabulary. That way we change the meaning we give to our decisions and events, right? So language is very important to monitor, and we also have to filter our beliefs. Are they aligned with the Dhamma? You know, ultimately, those wisdom development through insight meditation will definitely purify our mind and align our beliefs accordingly. But that's why we have to practice the meditation.
Would you say compassion is something to accept them for what they are?
Well, compassion means that you know that no one is perfect, and I mean, these are my definitions of it. Okay, and the official definition is here. Let me just see. So compassion says that, you know, helping others when in pain, but I think it's about really, you know, telling yourself that no one is perfect, acknowledging that no one is perfect, and that, you know, you will help them to get out of the bad situation they're in, because you feel their pain, you share their pain, you know, because something that you can relate to in the past or even in the previous lives, the karma, right? I mean, by, you know, because of compassion, because of loving kindness, that's why a lot of charities are born, right? These are thought that a lot of people exercise, right? Because of, you know, maybe from their previous karma. But it's important that we recognize that, you know, this is something limitless, this is unconditional. You know, karuna and mudita, this compassion and sympathetic joy, they are unconditional. So it's important that we should practice this. You know, these are the qualities of a mother and father, their children, right? So these are one of the two qualities. So these are limitless, they're boundless. So we have to practice these, and that way, this in the positive section, right? Kusal, provoking thoughts, and these are the thoughts we have to cultivate and find opportunities to cultivate these thoughts, you know, and that's very important. So if you basically, simple thing is change your language, replace the love with compassion, for example, and see what happens. Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you define it quite well. Like when most people, when they say love is conditional, right? And you said that there's some expectations in your mind what love is, right?
Exactly. I mean, let's say you love someone, and the moment they the other person break the rules of your expectations, you get upset, right? You know, and like let's say they cheat on you, and that's breaking your rules.
Right.
And if you truly love someone, it's unconditional, isn't it?
Yeah, I understand.
So,
it's a good explanation.
Yeah, so I mean that's something I came with. As you study these things, you begin to think, and you know, that's how I kind of, you know, replace my words. So I don't really use a love anymore. You know, I use compassion, and the moment you use compassion, your whole perception changes. You know, your whole experience changes, and that way, you know, you can never be angry with them. And anger is not something you must cultivate. So if you can, you know, use techniques like that, you know, analyze your own thoughts and replace the ones that cultivate anger and desire or lobha with these positive ones, and your experience will change. So
thank you.
That's I want to share the ahead of the Valentine's Day, so you know, because it's just around the corner. So, but it's something, because we are cultivating lobha, right? With this concept of love. So that's because of you know, Christian religion is cultivating love, and I think they should really use compassion instead of love. That way, we truly feel, you know.
I think people find it very difficult to understand the deeper meaning of what compassion is.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, right? To me, compassion is, you know, feeling someone's pain like it's happening to you. How would you react?
Because of their ego and the way we are brought up, not we, I wouldn't say, but the majority of the society is brought up, they have that ego of that, right? So
exactly.
But be in somebody else's shoes.
Exactly, but you see, the ego is also a negative thought, right? So my attitude is all these thoughts, all these 14 thoughts, I will not entertain at any cost. And if you have that attitude, it's easy to get rid of ego. You know, obviously, you know, things will creep in, but consciously, when I'm aware, I will get rid of them using that technique. So I can use that don't get attached technique to thought levels as well as feelings. Okay. So when you have ego arising in your mind, just focus on the thought. It's still energy. Focus on the thought and say, don't get attached. Don't let the story capture you and lose you in it. Right. So just focus on it and say, don't get attached. So I use that technique on thoughts as well as feelings. And now I basically, that I only use it if I can't control it. And that's my kind of, you know, weapon of mass destruction. but you know, I try to use the observation technique now, just like in the insight meditation, and you'll find yourself very, you know, in an interesting way when you observe things.
Going back to that initial question from my sister who asked about the different, you know, which resulted in discussion on different ways of meditation.
Yeah.
That slide you showed earlier from the internet, it gives you more, right? Not slide, it's a internet.
It's Satipatthana Sutra, right?
Mahasadipatan Sutra.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, that's interesting. I also thought that everything is about breath, but I think it's only
no,
isn't it? It's about technique, isn't it?
It's about technique.
That's just the one technique.
Exactly, and from the Kayana body meditation, the first one is Anapanasati. That's the meditation technique, right? And so the second one is walking meditation, right?
Yeah, because I have seen people do walking meditation. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, that's basically again, you just focusing your mind on your feet movement, because walking is a 4-stage process. You have to lift your feet, then you have to move it forward, you have to put it down, then you have to press. So these are the 4 stages, and those 4 stages you can't really concentrate all at once.
Right.
And so when you're walking, just be aware of which stage that your attention grabs first, right? It could be lifting of the foot, It could be moving. It could be putting down the foot on the ground. It could be pressing it, right? So so if you pay attention to lifting or moving, then focus on that. And maybe you can't focus on it on both feet. So focusing on one feet to begin with. And slowly, when you focus on what you can feel first, what you can sense first, as you develop your concentration and awareness, you become to detect more movements, in one feet and then in both feet, until you detect all 8 movements. Both feet, you keep going, you keep focusing on it. So that's what it is. That's what it is. So it stops your mind wandering and just focusing on one particular action.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, actually, yeah. What others are there?
There are, I mean, I quite like the feeling. Feelings is quite easy because whenever you feel something, you basically just the first thing is to identify is a happy, sad, or neutral, and then you watch it until it disappears. So that's simple, because everyone feels, right? So if you can feel it, you should be able to watch it, right? The mind is quite tricky, but once you know the 8 lower thoughts, the lower mind energies, I think, then you can identify them, identify which mind energy. So we have 8 these ones. So you have 8 loba sit, and 2 dvesha and 2 moha. So when you feel like, let's say you want to buy a dress, right? You go to a store and you want to buy a dress. In that moment, you're buying it because you have desire towards it, right? So that moment, acknowledging desire is basically focusing on the mind energy, right? And knowing things like that. When you feel upset, you focus on the anger thoughts, right? In that moment, you have anger feelings, anger thoughts in your mind. That's why you feel upset. So like that, being aware of your mind energies, at a given situation, and focusing on the mind energy arising and stopping of the mind energies is basically that. It's quite tricky because you get to know the different type of thoughts and mind energies there. The other one is, the Dhamma one is also good because that focus on the negative thoughts and negative. There's a Nirvana Bhavana. There's 5 hindrances in this one. This one's quite easy as well. This focus on the 7 negative thoughts. Whenever they arises, you focus on them until they disappear. So if you do, because these things you can do anytime, because
anytime. I was just thinking, you don't. This is what I was thinking. I was going to ask you: is it something that you live with in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly, because it's all about aligning your beliefs and values, right? So if you have a belief that says, whenever I get negative thoughts, I'm not going to allow myself to carry on with it, with the story behind it. Instead, I'm going to identify the thought and just watch it until it disappears. That's it. And whenever I'm feeling something, I'm going to watch it until it disappears. That's it. That belief alone will change your life. Because most people are trained to just listen to the story, follow the story, and act on it, right? But instead of that, we are attacking the root cause of the story, and we're trying to eradicate the root cause by using mindfulness. And you can do this anytime, okay? And when you do that, what you will, the kind of person you become is that you are truly becoming a peaceful person. It's not just a concept anymore. And without,
inner peace.
It's an inner peace. That is how you truly achieve inner peace. And that's why everyone's seeking, right? Even if you become a billionaire, they all want to be peaceful, right? And to be peaceful, this is the way. And when you do this, when you practice this inside meditation, it becomes automatic. You automatically become peaceful after some time. You don't need to do these things anymore. You just instantly, watch the feeling for a few seconds, it disappears. The length of time you watch becomes less and less as you practice. And if you want to achieve true peace and true mindfulness, this is the only way. And that will help you to achieve Nirvana very quickly. And it is said in the Mahasadipatan Sutra that if someone practices this inside meditation consistently for 7 days, you can achieve Nirvana. Or if they don't do it consistently, within 7 years, they can achieve Nirvana in this lifetime. So that's why I want to read this sutra, and it will motivate you. It has a sense of Buddhism all encompassed in one sutra. So
great, thank you.
You're very welcome. And any other question?
Well, the thing is, I'm used to the samatha meditation.
Yeah.
That when I began the samatha meditation, you get all these feelings and all these things, and you have to observe and get rid of all these. So I'm just trying to see how that can align with the feeling and all that comes slowly and getting rid of it through the samatha meditation.
Yeah. So samatha meditation is not a Buddhist meditation. It helps you to achieve or it helps you to practice the insight meditation, because purpose of samatha meditation is to purify your mind from thoughts, right? From different hindrances. So once your mind is purified, it means you can see the most finest of energy in your mind. And that will help you to practice insight meditations quickly and effortlessly, because your mind is so sensitive now. You can see the most simplest, most finest energy. Now you can meditate. If you achieve using samatha bhavana, if you achieve dhyana stage, dhyana 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The higher you go, the more samadhi, more sensitive your mind get for finest energies, and therefore it's not a waste. Okay, that's one way to practice insight meditation, to achieve some sort of dhyana stage and then practice insight meditation. But the other method is to practice insight meditation, and then that will help you to achieve samatha stage also. So, but either way, you have to practice insight meditation to achieve nirvana.
Yeah, the Anapanasati Sutta.
Yeah.
Is more aligned to the concentration meditation, isn't it?
Correct, and also it's also in the insight meditation as well. So it is only one that transcends from from samatha to vipassana, and the way to do that is when you achieve a dhyana stage using samatha bhavana, then you come out of dhyana, and then you watch the thoughts that are in the dhyana as appearing and disappearing to convert it to a vipassana. But that's, there are other ways to do it, but yeah, it's not a waste, definitely. And even if you don't achieve nirvana in this lifetime, if you achieve a dhyana stage, the karma is so powerful that it will make you be reborn in one of the formless spheres, in the Brahma world, or that's
so. Samadhi in a nutshell, samadhi bhavana is breath meditation, right?
Samadhi bhavana is often practiced using breath meditation, but it can be used. There are 40 samadhi bhavana kamatahan or focuses, but breath is one of them. So if you search for 40 samatha bhavana, right, kamatahan. So kamatahan, it's in Wikipedia also, I think. You see, these are the focuses. If you want to achieve dhyana, There's so many
Yeah.
focuses, but breathing is one of them. So there's a good book on those kamatan, but to be honest, you can achieve samatha in so many ways. 40 meditation objects of samatha bhavana.
But basically, doing the anapanasati, according to the anapanasati sutta, then you kind of mix the two. You start with the concentration and
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it is the most famous one.
Yeah.
But it is not the only one. Yeah.
Right.
So that's 40 meditation objects, but definitely worth looking into. And I would like to leave it there then. Let me maybe arrange another session on Satipatthana Sutra. I'll select some, meditation techniques, and we can practice it in our next session.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much for taking this time to actually teach us. For me, of course, I'm a less than 101.
Sure. No, it's my pleasure.
It was really a good insight to what our Buddhism is.
Exactly. You're very welcome, and I just want to help as many people as possible to achieve nirvana, and and hopefully may this Dhammadana will contribute towards their journey to nirvana.
Thank
also.
You. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And this time is also great because I'm actually logging in from Canada, so it's about 8 hours behind.
Okay. And
so don't make it too early.
No. I mean, to be honest, this is supposed to be our last session, but I think it kind of demands that we do a session on Satipatthana so that people are introduced into it. So I'll prepare something for that, and then I'll let you know.
Thank you so much indeed.
You're very welcome. Have a wonderful day, and may you all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana in the most quickest time frame, in the safest fashion, and in this lifetime. That's my wish to you all. Therawada Buddhist.
We wish you the same.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.